How's it going, everyone? My name is Case, and in this video, you meet our newest project truck. This is a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.9 liter gas V8. And the reason that we bought it is because RealTruck.com is sponsoring a series called To Hell and Back, where we get a 1500 truck from Dodge, from Chevy, and from Ford, and we compare them off-road, and this is the first one we bought. So we're gonna take a look at them. Look at this.
Wow, you know what?
What?
This is my first time seeing it because the guys bought it without me. So I'm thinking already, these components that need to be replaced, headlights, bumper.
Of which there are a lot, yeah.
Your truck would be an excellent donor.
Yeah, false. If any parts go from my truck to this truck, there's going to be broken kneecaps. Well, it's not happening.
It's good to see that they used watercolors when they painted this.
Probably going to do something about that because this on camera just does not look fantastic. But mechanically, it's decent.
This is a proper truck, pre-Hemi, but there are a few things right off the bat. This is the one that has the factory lift, right?
Yeah, it's an off-road model and it's a sport, so it's kind of a unique combination. We've got the sport bumper at the front here, so it's a different front bumper than what you find on a lot of second gens, including my truck. But yeah, it's got factory lifted suspension. These are actually original wheels, which they're kind of an interesting design. They've got these little like lumps. These tires though.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, these ridge grapplers, they're pretty much brand new, so we're actually pretty set on tires.
Each one of these trucks costs us about $5,000. So we have a little tiny budget where we're going to make these trucks a little bit better off-road. One of which is getting rid of these.
Definitely have to get rid of that. No one needs that.
No, I just hate those.
There's a cool little feature back here which you're gonna love. This handle does not do a great job of getting the tailgate open, but if you just give it a little squeeze.
Well, that's a safety device right there, that is.
Good as gold.
Yeah, that's great.
Something that you absolutely have to check out is the interior.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Phenomenal.
Now, we just found out that this thing smogged its very first time, which is really good. Colorado is pretty stringent on the smog rules. Look at this.
Yeah, actually, most of the fabric on the seats, on the door cards, is surprisingly not that bad. It doesn't smell super sketchy in here.
Oh, look at this. He already gave us...
Pre-wired.
Yeah, I really don't want to use that, but okay.
Pull up that dash mat and take a look.
Oh, I'm willing to bet that it's going to be pretty awful because these things were notorious for... Oh! That's great for ventilation. You know, I remember seeing a lot of these trucks with a similar problem, and these become super brittle. And yeah, one or two cracks and the whole thing falls apart. But that's why you have this, because you go from really horrible and scary looking to throwing this back up there and whammo, everything's fine.
Because they produce so many of these trucks, parts are really cheap, so we're going to be able to fix up a lot of these rougher spots without spending a whole lot of money.
Especially if we take your parts. I mean, those are free.
Yeah.
I like when somebody creatively uses tie wraps.
Oh yeah. And actually, this engine is one that you've had a little bit of experience with, right?
Yeah. These are really good with low end torque. They're not so good with efficiency. It's a 4-speed automatic transmission. From what I hear, this one runs really good, and I'm actually encouraged by not seeing, typical baked on oil in the right spots. But I'm not seeing a lot of dripping, which is good.
It could be a lot worse. It's probably not going to make it to Pebble Beach this year, but it'll do some off-roading.
Did you just do a funny? You did a funny. Hey, that doesn't sound too bad.
The features.
I like that. It's in pretty good shape.
Also, the world's biggest ashtray.
I'm assuming the guys tested everything out.
It mostly sort of works.
That's what I want to hear. I like the fact that this model has the limited slip depth. That is great for off-roading.
That's going to be a huge help.
Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it's not
winning any drag races.
Nah. Although I would like to put some cherry bombs on it or something like that. That's what I like to do. Just keep it simple, you know? Suspension feels sorted. I mean, just in terms of nothing's hopping around.
How are the brakes?
We need to fix the brakes.
And actually, I will say the steering, it's not great, but it's not too bad. It's definitely not the worst old truck steering I've ever felt.
It's fine. If I were a working guy who had a business like, you know, yard, parts, whatever, just in terms of the basics, feels like a heater works actually quite well because I'm already boiling and it's pretty damn cold outside, so that works well. It's quiet, so I'm pretty happy with the basics.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a good start, and you know, it looks a lot worse from the outside than I think it actually is.
I guess this was Tommy's idea, right, to get this truck? I think he's the one who found it?
Yeah, I think he is the one that found this.
So, not bad, Tommy. You did a pretty good job. For $5,000, getting a good running truck with a good transmission, that's huge. I actually was pushing when we started talking about the series for the same truck, basically, but with the 5-speed or manual transmission, which is available. But a majority of those had the 318.
Yeah.
Which isn't as powerful as this. And a headliner, actually, this is another thing that usually goes really horribly wrong, and this headliner is in pretty good nick. Maybe we should get like some plywood.
Yeah, so
put it over here.
Again, because so many of these dashes cracked, they make a little plastic shell that you can basically glue to the top of it. And
right, I've seen those.
If you actually look in the bed of this truck, it does appear that there's been a fifth wheel mounted in this at some point, so...
Oh yeah, I could see where that's... Oh, right.
Yeah, plastic bed liner.
Yeah, that's gotta go. I mean, there's some dents and scratches, but who cares?
Yeah, I'd say my favorite dent on this truck, and Andre pointed this out, I think he's exactly right, is it looks like whenever someone was disconnecting their fifth wheel, they forgot to drop the tailgate as they pulled away from the trailer, and that's why our handle is...
Oh yeah, look at that. It's got a tow hitch, it's good.
It's got a tow hitch, it's all blacked out. This is a pretty stealthy truck.
I think it needs to lose a couple things. It's got to get rid of the toolbox. I think we should probably pull out the crap bed liner. It's just not very good. Although, from what I could glance at, it didn't look like there was a lot of rust underneath, which is usually a problem. And I think we can use a donor truck. Like that one over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's not a donor truck.
That grill looks so good on this.
That is a model of what we should do with this, but that is a museum piece. It's never getting touched.
You know, my stepfather had a 2001 that was very similar to this, and he beat up on it regularly like a crazed sailor, which he was. So I know for a fact that these things are pretty strong, but there are a couple things I'm cautiously optimistic about. It seems like the transmission's okay. It seems like the engine's okay. Brakes are not okay, so that has to be fixed. Hopefully the bed is okay. Didn't look like there was a ton of rust underneath. Those are all really important. The most important thing is that this thing runs and stops. Everything else is sort of secondary, right? So good job, guys. I think we're off to a flying start. I cannot wait to get this series started.